Hey, morning, guys. Hey, Pop, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. Oh, man. What is this? Multiple streams in a week. We're getting back to old habits. Maybe we are. We'll see here. Anyway, good morning. I don't know when you'll watch this or whoever will, but let me get my Cintiq all set up here. The cables are all getting bent out of whack. Anyway, so today we're going to work on this comic project here called Sandcastles. I've got a couple pages to do. Let me minimize this here. I need this up here for reference, but doesn't make a whole lot of sense for you guys right now. Yeah, so I've got this page here, two more that will be starting kind of like this, you know, rough thumbnails, and then tightening it up here, throwing some inks on. The inks are a little bit more simple. This is like an example of another page that we had, and we'll just be doing this. So I thought I would stream today. We got the morning, CJ. Welcome. Got the Fridays off, the other Fridays off of our job, so we get to do some artwork. We'll shoot the breeze and see what's going on. Not sure how long we'll stream for. You know, at least an hour, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100,000 hours. Hey, Robinix, welcome in. I got your Patreon request too. Thank you. I was considering doing the Patreon stuff today as well for the stream, but I really got to get some mileage done on this. So maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow morning. Let's stream a little bit. We'll see. I wanted to get back into the art streams, but the scheduling and all that, it always makes it real difficult. But we'll see what we can get going. The style too that we're working in is this. I don't even know the name if I ever came up with that. I always say Kirby, but it's giving way too much clout to how this actually looks and stuff like that. But I'll say like maybe even trying to replicate Corey Lewis mixed with Kirby, mixed with, I don't know, just simple shapes. But it's very quick to work in. There's not a lot of detail going on here. So things are a little quicker. One thing I really like about it too, though, is how fast, like, I can get organic shapes that I normally couldn't get. And it's one of the fascinating things that I have with this style, and why I keep coming back to it. And I'm surprised people, not everybody, and you know, it's a style thing, so not everybody's going to like everything, and it should be that way. That way we get some different styles of art, but the response to this kind of look has been cool. I get just super self-conscious about this stuff because I know I can draw. I don't even want to say better. Hey, Gladman, welcome. Morning. But, you know, I always see like some detailed artwork and it's like, maybe I should just keep going in that direction. I always wonder if like I'm missing out on opportunities because I'm sort of drawing this way now. Back and forth. You guys have seen a whole bunch of stuff that I do. Like, it's just different things. But anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know. In my head, I'm always like going back and forth on, is this good? What is good? I enjoy working in it though. Like I said, a lot of the shapes and designs that it gives me an excuse to work in is super freeing. So anyway, how you guys been? Anybody working on anything this morning? Are you guys at work? What you guys doing? Give this guy some. Put something on his shoe like that, maybe. We'll add some shadow and all that, just to insinuate that there's people back there. I think these two are done. Now, these two panels are very similar. I'm going to just minimize this for now, the reference. Until we need to worry about the background. All right, let's get our reference up here. Okay, we're going to need her, and this dude. I think we'll draw him first. This is what we call like the old stat panel. It's going to be very similar. Just some minor changes here. what's the dialogue here? What are they talking about? Saint watches rip. It's okay, like like that. Saint eyes stand down. Okay. So look at the previous page there, kind of smiling a lot. So maybe we'll try a little bit more, like a serious, air quotes, serious mustache. There we go. So he's kind of got his head over to the side, like he's listening to the person in the back. At least that's what I'm trying to go for here. Something like that. Pop, speed and clarity are always important to open the door. You can always up your game once your foot is in the door. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it too. It's a really good way of saying it. I think one of the main reasons why I always get a little self conscious about like more maybe like even simplicity. I don't know. I feel like this is something I'll never be able to get over. But just the amount that I think about it and talk about it, or like I'm trying to justify certain decisions or something with people. Not quite sure the realm where this is kind of coming from, but I do know that it's definitely comparing, which isn't. I think there can be healthy comparing and unhealthy comparing. Like in the terms of what I'm talking about, like if I'm comparing myself to myself, that's one thing. But I'm comparing myself to like what other people are doing, and you start to think like, is this the right path to go? Because I'm able to do X, Y, or Z, and other people are doing that, and I want to be at least as good as them. That's probably a really awful way to go about it. But like I'm mixing it up too. Like even at where I work, I don't have to do concept art too often, but when I do, I know I always get torn. I'm like, what should I do? Because I think there's always this perceived, and again, it's one of those aesthetic things, right? Like not everybody's gonna like what you do. But I've done like we'll say JESOP King. That's just the easiest way for me to relate what I'm trying to talk about. That style to me is a little bit more. A lot of people are familiar with it. You're comfortable with it. You don't have to think too much about it. It's not like a gigantic leap into like I would argue what I'm doing now with this kind of stuff, where it feels a little bit more loosey goosey. Might feel a little bit more cartoon. I don't know. It's just a different kind of jump. So like I get a little self conscious too. Like let's say at work, let's say like most of the times what I do in generally speaking would be like UI slash asset design. So if I had to do like a treasure chest, that's the easiest one for me to always talk about a treasure chest. I have a workflow just like the JESOP King style, with the line art. Then we get the contour line and all that stuff, and then my coloring and all that. Coloring is very similar between these styles. That's always something that's always constant. But when it comes to like drawing, there was one project we slowly started, and I introduced this kind of look. Here, let me show you guys. And like it's not here to, I don't want to say blow minds because it's not that, but it was more of like just have fun. Hey Zip, welcome in. Good to see you for the second time in a row. But yeah, anyway, when I was doing this, it was sort of like I think it could get interpreted as what's a good way of saying it? As it's just rough concept kind of look. But I really enjoyed it. There's two actually that I can show you. But I'm not quite sure how they would feel because this is video game direction, right? And video game has polish, usually speaking, and I think there's a certain standard. So I try to push in that direction as much as I can. But when I was doing this stuff, where was it? I know I can. This one for sure. this was like a totally different direction or project that we were looking to revamp, and I put like a comic book spin on it. And this is when I was going like pure, like really getting into like, oh, I just love the Kirby stuff and the simple comic book coloring and all that. I won't get into the context of what you're looking at because that doesn't matter. And I'm not quite sure if I could talk about a lot of this stuff, but I can show it. You know, it's still fun. But you guys can see this is pretty much like what I'm working on right now. And I just love the energy in it. There's some things, you know, that I think like when I was drawing this way, when I was forcing myself to only use, I think it was the DC colors, that it's like the limited color palette. It opens up so much freedom by limiting your choices, but what it was costing me was sometimes some clarity, right? Like if you go back, and I guess that's the other argument too, is when I'm doing this stuff, I'm channeling what was working for comics, but it's not comics. So it's different. I need to approach it different. At least in comics when they have the limited palette, right? There's choices here they probably wouldn't make. Like the whole background, you might just fill it blue, even though it doesn't make sense, and make the characters red just so they pop. You know, here I'm coloring in each thing, so you can look at this and it's just busy. Whereas with modern coloring styles, you can push things into the background and stuff, right? And there's a lot going on here. And again, these are just concepts for like ideas. And then here you can kind of see I was doing the same sort of thing. This is what I'm talking about. We're putting just a little modern touch on it where you flood fill like a color and you can push something in the background to make something stand out. But like even when I look at this stuff, the exaggerated proportions and stuff, I don't think apologize. I don't think I could get this drawing in a traditional style. And just to bring this up, and I just like talking to you guys about this. It helps me process it in my mind. Where is... I got a whole idea folder. This is what we were working on in the last stream. Well, we were just shooting the breeze. It was this elf thing where I'm kind of pushing, you know what I mean? Like pushing shadows. We haven't even gotten to the lighting yet, but I can look at this and this sort of like it makes more sense. It's logical. I call this like logical art. You know, this is more emotion, and I think that might be why I dig it. The simplicity and what other XYZ excuse. Okay, this would have just been concepts here or like whatever. But yeah, trying to come up with like this kind of stuff. So like you can look like even this pink dude, right? That pink dude, this guy that that I turned into the Star Child. Like this looks like I could draw any style with that, but once we put like these sort of renderings on there and gestural anatomy, I love it, man. But it's hard for me, and another reason why I think I talk about this, and I'll catch up with everybody in the chat. Thanks for lighting it up there, guys. The reason I bring this up is I feel like I can't be the only artist out there that's worrying about this stuff, and maybe I am, and that's the problem. I do know when I go back to my traditional like JESOP style of like, okay, here's line art, I'll never get lost. It's a formula that works. I know how the result's going to look at the end, and it's comforting that way. This sort of stuff is still like, I keep relating it a little bit more to what's a good word? I'm trying to find that other thing too. More like a gut. Like, how does it feel in the gut when I'm putting a line down, especially when we get into like, I say like the Kirby lines. At least that's what I'm trying to insinuate. I'll never be that guy. I know I'm not trying to be, but I'm trying to take the awesome stuff that he's able to visually provide, and I can't get that anywhere else. I've tried to like do my traditional JESOP stuff and then add a little bit of that to it. It just doesn't feel the same. It just doesn't. So I think the reason why I keep coming back to this simple stuff is like it checks a lot of boxes that I have. But the heavy cost is I feel like I'm going to be perceived as somebody that's still learning how to draw. Does that make sense? And I definitely know that's not a good thing. Anyway, let me, I'm trying to find this and I will catch up with you guys. I'm trying to look at my work one. I don't know if it was in here. Let me see here. It might be here in the jam. It was like here, I can show you guys a bunch okay, so maybe I did show you guys this stuff. This was actually a lot of fun. We were sort of, and none of this is going to see the light of day, and if it does, then I'll try to, I'll retroactively go back and delete this if I get in trouble. And I don't think that's the case. I'm just trying to open up the PNGs. So we were all sort of like tasked with, if you could make any game what would it be? Just make concepts for it. Now I can't develop, so I have to just do artwork. And one of them was a game that I really liked, which was what was it called? Dragon's Crown, which was basically like a side-scrolling beat 'em up. Think turtles in space, Double Dragon, anything that's like that, but with like an RPG mechanic added on top. So leveling up, that kind of thing. I really enjoyed that game, but I wanted to like that. We had a poll at work where it was sort of like mixing genres, so you had to take that genre and kind of like make an idea for the game. But anyway, this was like just a very quick example, and it's going to be in backwards order here. But this could be what a UI screen might look like, and you can tell it's ripped right from Dragon's Crown with my artwork in the back there. Just for context, like because I'm trying to tell the idea for people that haven't played it, so you have to, here's your guy down here, yada yada. Here's a little thing. But I always felt like when I had this dude here, and this is Hercules, right? And it's mixed with a little bit more of like a modern flair, or maybe like a cyberpunk kind of. It's not really pushed. But you can still see, I think I'll have like a full, let me see if I can full screen here. Maybe I didn't have one. Here we go. Okay, so Hercules here. So we're doing like the Kirby stuff or whatever like that I enjoy. Just BS stuff, give him a headset. But I always worry that when I show this art that it's like, again, like I say, you look at it and it's like it's amateurish. And it could just be because, adding an extra layer of shadow to like really sell form. I don't know. And it's probably just a general insecurity. This was like maybe the lighting, like get that neon lighting kind of feel going on. And this would have been like, okay, this is gameplay, right? Here, who do we got? We got Hercules up here. We got Heimdall down here. So we got a mix of genres. And you're fighting Cthulhu-type monsters, right? So got some lettering down there and stuff. And this would have been like the Cthulhu-style boss, Dagon, right? And you're fighting. But like this style, like if you know what I mean? Like this is, I don't know. I can't do this working the way I normally do it. But there's just something in here that, I don't know. Maybe it's just a thing that I dig with the cost of sacrificing what other people might think that we need or what looks good. I don't know. I'm just sharing this with you guys because you guys have been around here for a while, so you know where I'm coming from. Anyway, so this would be like your character select and all that. But anyway, let me catch up to you guys. Let's see what we got here. Hey Lars, welcome man. How you been? What a perfect way to begin your Easter break. Wednesday scribble. Is it Wednesday, dude? Man, it's Friday over here. Man, we're going 2 days behind with Lars. Right now, I'm working on comic book stuff. I was just going a little blast the past because this always happens when I haven't streamed for a while. I want to catch up with everybody and then like mentally dump all the stuff that I've been thinking about, and then look for like acceptance through people. Two geeks talking. Oh my god, how are you, dude? How have you been? I hope you're doing well. I try to share every now and then on Twitter when you make tweets. I know my reach isn't huge, but I'm glad you're still making content and everything, buddy. Thank you for that. Lars, LOL, hint for Jonathan to start his regular Wednesday stream. Okay, all right. Pop Cultivation, pretty sure he was on Wednesdays this week. Today's Friday. I don't think it wasn't yesterday I streamed. Was it? No, it was the day before, I think. I can't even remember. It might have been Wednesday. I haven't been streaming. I haven't been doing anything art related to post on the channel. Most of the reasons for that, guys, is when I put my son down around 7 to 7:30, sometimes it wraps up to 8. When I get down, I try to work every few days or every day for about a half hour to an hour on this kind of stuff. But like none of it's really streaming material, I guess you could say. Not like a pinup. But I'm going to try to change that. We'll see. And I've always said that before, and nothing happens from it. But it's like ever since I had my son, it's affected how I can just freely stream. Every other Friday, like today, I have off from work, so I'm able to draw. So it's an excellent way to stream. But again, some of the stuff that I'm working on, I can't stream. So it's this weird in between. So I don't know when the channel will ever return to like how it used to be, especially now that I don't really do comic books, right? Like I know I'm doing it now, but I don't really like I'm kind of out of comics. I don't really enjoy working on them as much. From time to time, this project has been a lot of fun. But like JESOP King or anything like that, it's so much work, and I don't have a lot of time anymore for it. So it's weird. It's just different now. So we'll see. We'll maybe get some sort of regular something happening. I don't know. The regular Wednesday streams were like 6 or 7 years ago. I know, and thank you for sticking around for that long too. I appreciate that. What's that? Two Geeks is talking, saying gut reactions as an artist are always amazing to see. That or it's actually. Let's sip our coffee here. Pop Cultivation. Speaking of the Turtles, looking forward to Shredder's Revenge. Yes, I cannot wait for that game to come out. You've been good. Hello, Manveer. Welcome, welcome. 50 plus interviews scheduled on the show. Oh my God, good for you, dude. Got to get back on to talk about comics, MTG. I haven't played Magic in so long. I'm playing like solo board games now, and Marvel Champions, the card game. Phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. Gladman Comics. I tend to like a more simplistic style. It's easier for me to study since I'm trying to achieve a simplistic style myself. Lars, I loved when you streamed drawing the standards, so sequential art is perfect streaming material for me. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, let's get back to work. Yeah. Let me move these guys over here so I can see them. I'll work on this layer. So we'll draw this chickie here. Yeah, guys, comics have just been, I don't know. I don't want to blame my son for them. I talked about this actually in the last stream too. You know, like if I ever become unemployed or something, I'll always try to gravitate towards comics and just illustration in general. It's not that I don't like comics, it's just they take so much time. And now that I have, like a budding family, at the end of the day, after the day job, and I'm confident there's a lot of people that are already this way as well. There's certain responsibilities I have now, right? Like, not that I didn't have these before, but since I got married, right? Like, you have to look. I look at things just a little bit different. I try to prioritize at least spending an hour every day with my wife. Before it was just work focus all the time. For good or worse. I mean, again, I know a lot of people share a lot of this stuff. So there's that. Then there's, I try to take on a little bit of extra work to bring in more money because of the family stuff. And then also there's definitely times where you just want to relax and do your own thing. So it's this weird back and forth and stuff. It leaves very little time to do things like streaming. And I'm definitely going to admit, right? Like if my indie art career, I wanted to thrive more so than it does now, I would be putting a lot heavier focus on streaming and all that kind of thing. But at this point, I'm just more concerned with trying to kind of like what Two Geeks Talking was talking about, like that the balance stuff. That's so like it's an impossible chase. I think it ebbs and flows, right? Like life isn't always the same all the time. So what works this year might not work next year. You know what I mean? So it's like things are always changing and adjusting. You got to adapt. I don't know. Because like I used to do, you can actually go back not that long ago where I would just start recording and it'd be like a sped up video of some character, whether it was like one of my role playing characters or if it was, like a superhero or something like that. And I'm not even really doing those anymore. Priority shift. I think I'm just getting more and more burnt out quicker. So it's like I need a little bit of personal time to just play a board game or play. Guys, I can't stop talking about it. But Marvel Champions, the living card game, check it out. I think you'd dig it. It's an amazing game. You can play it by yourself. You may not like playing games by yourself, but the fact that you can is very good. Uh-oh, let me check something here. Go back. There. 17, what page is 18? Okay. So I have to put in this gun. Give me a second here. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I got married. What was it, last year? Yeah, it hasn't even been a year yet, and I'm already questioning when was it? Yeah, it'll be a year in July. I think we were gonna get married probably like maybe a year before, but like COVID, it was locked everything down, so like people couldn't even do anything. What an awkward time to do all that stuff. But yeah, all that cool stuff. Where am I right now? Gun. That's what I needed. File, import, 3D data. Do. Oh, guys. Oh, man. I just saw this video. Let me pull this up. You guys, okay. I know there's going to be a comic book audience that's still going to be here from no matter what. Let me just get this gun. I need to show you guys this. I don't know which one of these it is. Is it the air gun? That looked like a... Yeah. That's it. Check this out. Okay, so I haven't done this yet. I saved the video. So you can use something called Blender. It's a 3D software thing. Maybe spend a little bit of time getting used to it. It's not super complicated, but it's free. And that's why I'm saying I'm not sure if you need anything special. From what I saw on this, it was free. But the reason why... Oh my... Come on. Too much audio. Let's go here. Let's bring it up. Check this out, guys. I'm going to go full screen. All right, so I'll skip through to the main point. What he's doing is he's basically taking... And I don't understand how this works, but it looks like Blender has some Google integration that you can do or something. I don't know. And this would have been phenomenal for me when I was doing like heavy comic books in like cities. But like in concept art and stuff, this is going to be huge. You essentially just take a screenshot, you put it into Blender, you click a couple tools, it's going to do some stuff. Now check this out. You do this other one and boom. Look what and it does this on its own. I don't know how cool it is and like how practical it works. I'm just letting you guys know 3D models of a city from a screenshot. Like, dude, technology is getting out of hand. Nobody's going to be drawing backgrounds anymore. And I know for a fact that in Clip Studio, and I don't know how big this file is, this looks disgusting, but like even just a raw screenshot, and if you had to draw over it, there's got to be more optimized ways, but like angles and cameras and stuff, like, dude, like, come on, you know, I can only imagine doing this for like New York City, you know, and throw in your own personal buildings if you want for, you know, what's it called? I'm drawing a blank here. Coffee hasn't hit yet. Composition. That's the word I wanted. But anyway, that's insane. Check that stuff out. That's nasty. Just being able to do something like that. Large, you're going to draw along with the stream. Been really busy, but okay. All right, man. Welcome, Paul. Good to have you back. Thank you, sir. Yeah, if you want to draw, knock yourself out, man. Have fun. All right. Zoom out, please. Most wheel, come on. Don't want to work? All right, we'll do that. How do we use these tools? So this has to be on her back. You know what I never really realized? How do people... You don't walk around with a gun with the barrel in the sky, do you? It's on your back. I think I screwed that up. Let me check over here. Okay, I cheesed it. I didn't even draw it in there. Okay. Right? How do you carry a gun? Let me check. Gun on back. Part of me just thought the barrel was in the air, sort of like a sword. But I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense. Right? Because you want to grab the handle. Yeah, okay, I got it. I had it way wrong. So it's upside down and it's facing downwards. Cool. Which tool is it? Is it this one? There we go. And we'll rotate it. And we will... How do you free move it? Is there? There we go. Okay. Make it a little bigger. I feel like it's a little too big. A little too big. There we go. Put this here like that. Sure. Okay, now I know there's some features here that I am awful with. What is it? Extract line? Is it as easy as clicking a button? Oops. Let's grab our brush. Well, that doesn't look very good, does it? All right, we'll just draw over it. Sometimes these 3D models don't make a lot of sense, especially with like this style that I'm drawing in, right? It's got a little bit more of an organic flair to it. Or at least I'm trying to have that. Okay, I'm just going to turn that layer off because I feel like we're going to need it for a couple other panels. Cool. Cool. Erase some of that stuff. And actually, whoops, let me rifle on back. You'd think I would have already researched this stuff, huh? Bad artist. I'm looking for, okay, so it's just, I'm looking for where the strap's going. The strap, okay, so it's a little different for everybody. What is, well, it's a hunting rifle, right? It's not an AR. Hunting rifle. Let's see what we got here on back. Oh, these hunting rifles are a little a little different than what I'm looking at. Yeah, this guy's got the barrel in the sky. I mean, I guess it makes sense that the barrel, you probably don't want it anywhere near your head, right? So you probably want it downward. Okay, so it clips on the back or the bottom of this part, and then it's got to click on what, the back of the handle? Sure. Oh, here we go. Fortnite. Thank you. You already done the research. Yeah, the handle, and then so it's down here all the way up to the front somewhere. Cool. That's all I needed to see. So we're gonna put like a little clicky poo. We'll do a little fold over. Little fold over. It always looks good. And we'll erase. Cool. Yeah. All right. Alright, let's get rid of this guy. Sometimes what I've been doing too is I'll do like this little trick, right, where you just erase a little bit of the lines that are close to the character in front of them. It gives them like a, sometimes I'll do it in white ink. That way it just separates them a bit, because the style that I'm working in, and this is something I want to consider adding in the future, is like line weight, which is one of the most critical things you could have in art, that I'm just not doing with this style. And I know it's impacting it tremendously. Because I'm relying heavily on color to solve that problem. It has a visual look to it that I like. But from just like a pure art standpoint, it's probably wise to at least include a little bit of line weight. Yeah. All right, she's got these really cool dreadlocks here. I'm just going to drape them around. Let's give a little frame for them. Get some overlapping shapes. Cool. Line weight and selection is so fun. Yep. Definitely brings an image together. It's the glue that binds it. I'll put a couple texture lines in here. Now the next two pages, I honestly like. I'm looking at the time. Still got a lot of time left, but they're very complicated pages. Not in terms of like people, we'll say. They're just dense. They have to look lived in. They're honestly what I hate about comics, but you need it. It's storytelling, right? I'm not a fan of backgrounds. They just take so much time, and I'd rather draw characters. I've been open about that before, but I totally understand the need for them. And when I look at art, I love looking at backgrounds. I just don't want to draw them. So that's exciting. We got that coming up here. All right, let's get these fluffy feather-like things. Got some spikes. So she's reversed. Okay, so this is a flesh arm. This one has sort of like a latex feel to it. I'll fill it in right now. Oops. Just so I don't forget. Hey, Skull Diamond, how's it going, man? Welcome, welcome. Getting all the familiar faces in. This is great. Oops, what am I doing? It doesn't have that. How's your spear go? Okay. Something like that. Yeah. Then we'll worry about all that in a second. Let me get her cape. Where is it? Right here. Got too many layers here. I gotta clean some of this up. Here, let's start merging stuff. Oops, no, don't merge that. I'll put the background in a second here. All right, let's move these dudes over here, and we will duplicate this. Copy paste. Cool. What's this? I've never had a physical altercation with a background, but what a pain in the arse. It's true. All right, so here she's just looking over. This character's arms are going forward. And I want to just change this guy's head so it doesn't look like it's just total copy paste. So make a new layer here. I'll start with this guy. Let me just turn that off. Well, lower it a bit. Yeah, that's just too distracting. I think where I might cheese it, though, is just keep the body the same. Let's see how that looks. Probably not great. Maybe. Maybe. Erase all that. Yeah, alright, at least it looks like they're having a conversation, I guess. Alright, and then this one, she has to look a little forward here, so I'm just going to change her hair a bit. So her head is this way. Get a little, we don't show her ear here. Yikes, I can't see nothing here. What's going on? And her arm. Sure. Let's see. Some of the stuff will probably have to get corrected as we ink it. Let me maybe change this to blue. Yeah, that helps. Freaking brain is having a heart attack here. I couldn't tell what the hell I was looking at. Does her other ear have any? Yeah, you know what? Let's give it a piercing. Yeah, all right. Subtle differences. Hey, let's do this background. Get her over with here. We're still pretty close. Look at this. Actually, I'm going to move this to a second screen. There we go. That's better. That's better. Alright, so he's got this table thingy. Let's keep this in red. It comes down a bit. And we get some cool texture stuff. I'll just throw that in right now. Alright, and then this part comes up, like that, comes over, goes up. And I added this like awning, which isn't really here. Let me check this other screen. So it kind of goes up like that. Alright. Sorry guys, I just have like two pieces of reference off screen. I have to combine into one. That's a little silly. Alright, so we'll go. That. Something like this, maybe. Yeah. Let's do that. It's up here. I haven't zoomed in this much yet, so I'm just gonna add a little extra, little stuff. And then we're not gonna see all this texture up here, but you can insinuate that it's there. Bring this there. Hey Dennis, welcome in. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for coming back. I've finally gotten over my fear and hatred of backgrounds. Now I treat them like characters, and it really helps. No, honestly, it's great advice. The way I look at that is like, because it's not just backgrounds. There's certain other things I don't like drawing. Pretty much anything that's an unorganic shape is frustrating because it has rules, right? Perspective and all this other things. I've done some backgrounds that are fun, but like to your point, it's sort of like a lie. Because I've done it too, where I've heard that advice. It is good advice, but it's like that. For me, I look at it. It's kind of like that lie I have to tell myself. Like the medicine tastes good. Just think of it as something else. Or you're sleeping in like another bed at like a hotel and you just can't get comfortable. Like just imagine you're back at home. You're not drawing a background. You're just drawing a character. The background tells a story. It's true. I'm just saying, like it. Yeah. All the stuff we tell ourselves to be able to sit down and draw. Uh, I'm doing what's that? Sorry, a Moon Knight pinup, and I don't really know the character, but I have really enjoyed the first two episodes of the new show. Should I have a full moon or crescent in the background? Ooh. I'm not a huge Moon Knight guy, so I don't know. But he's got a lot of crescent moons in his design, right? Doesn't he? So maybe the crescent moon. Yeah, okay. So Dennis is saying the same thing. How is the show? Is it been good? I haven't kept up with like any of the Marvel stuff, movies or like shows. Marvel like the movies. Like I've watched like YouTube channels that sort of like cover them. I watch them that way. But I don't know. How are people feeling about them? Are they good? Are they still got the Marvel charm? Alright, I think this side is good. We'll go over here. A different vibe than the other shows. Okay, the first episode was really strong. The second was good. I don't have like Disney Plus, so I can't. I'm not watching, or I haven't watched any of the stuff like Mandalorian. And just I hear rumblings. People talk about them, so I'm always curious as to if they're any good. Obi-Wan's coming out. I won't be able to watch that, but yeah, it's always cool to hear. Like even the MCU stuff after the Infinity War stuff, my interest like just plummeted. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe just if I had to think, like if I'm digging for some reasons, like there just hasn't been really anything that's interested me. Doctor Strange looks really good though. I'm excited for that. But even like Spider-Man: No Way Home, I didn't watch that. I just watched clips. I think the day of or the day after, as people were putting what is it called, like leaked clips, 1 to 5 minutes long on YouTube, all out of order, so the story never made any sense. But I got to see some of the cool stuff, and maybe because I didn't watch it all, like, it seemed like a good movie. Sounded like people enjoyed it, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm definitely in this phase where I'm like quickly becoming somebody else. Like I'm not interested to go see the movie. I don't even know I'm making it about me, maybe just because I have the microphone right now. But like, I'm just not, like, I don't have the desire to go to a movie or watch movies anymore. It's more like drawing for sure. And then, like, I'm just all about, like, that small free time I have is, like, solo board games and card games are just way more enjoyable. Like, even video games. I got Elden Ring. I played maybe 5 hours in that. And, like, amazing game. I wish I could play more, but I've just energy's gone for that. I'm just not interested in it anymore. Like I've pretty much checked out. Maybe I'll go back at some point, but I'm just not like in the mood for it. I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird. Like I used to be really heavy into all the Marvel stuff. Like, oh, I can't wait for this movie to come out. I want to see that. Now it's just like I don't like I said, Doctor Strange. I know it's coming out. I probably won't even see it. I'll probably just watch clips again on YouTube and be like, okay, I get it, cool. So this character came back, or oh, that is Professor X. Awesome. So we'll get some cool new. I don't even know. Is anybody else like this? Is anybody else like just getting different stuff? turn this smoothing down. This is way too high. What's that? You used to love Hong Kong movies, all the cool fights, so they bore you to tears. Oh, no, what is happening? Are we just becoming old? I remember when I worked at EB Games, and or even my dad, he'd try to push us to go get jobs and all that stuff. You know, doing the thing a dad should do. Um, and I always question him, like, why? You know, like he would play Madden on Super Nintendo or 3DO, and we had it, and you know, they were really good times. Like, I had really good memories with that. And I used to love just RPGs. Like, just let me get an RPG. I don't care what it is. I want to play it. Street Fighter, all those things. And then it's like, anyway, I remember like my dad would just not play. He would just like when he would, I could tell he was having some fun, but it would just like it wouldn't. I guess it wouldn't be like when he had downtime. I would notice him pick up a controller to play a game, and it always confused me because I always thought I'm like, man, I'm never gonna stop like, gaming is so fun. I don't understand. And then I would see some older people, right, where I'm like, man, I don't know how these people don't play video games. They don't know what they're missing. And I'm just using video games as an example, but uh, I don't know what happened, but like my interest in video games has plummeted. I used to be all about them. Like, yeah, this is great. I can't wait to come home to play Gears of War, you know, Xbox 360, all the good stuff. Not anymore. Like, I could care less. It's like I see these things, like I see the trailers for these games, like the sequel to Breath of the Wild eventually coming out, right? I really enjoyed the first one, kind of, but like I stopped playing it. It's like it's not even maybe it is my attention span has just gotten to shit or gone to shit. But like I think more about like the time I spend more time thinking about what I want to do than actually doing something, and then I don't do anything. I don't know what the hell. I don't know if that's a common thing with parents, or if this is just like an age thing. Because this year I'll be turning 40, man. 40 years old. I'll be old as hell. So I'm wondering, maybe it's just energy levels. But like things aren't exciting me like they used to. I don't know what that's about. But the reason I brought my dad into that is like I think about that from time to time. Like what I'm experiencing is kind of like what I would look to him and I would think, I'm like, I don't get it. I don't know how this guy is not booting up Madden 98 right now and starting a new season. Like instead he wants to watch TV with some chips. And now I'm that guy. I'm just old. I'm just old. Is this what old is? Oh my gosh. Hey, Juan, welcome, man. Dennis turning 50. We're all getting old, huh? This is great. At least I'm not the only one in the room. This is fun. Ah. So about a year or two ago, I found out I could play Dungeons and Dragons by myself. Sounds super sad, but I tried it. I like stories, and I like D&D. I wish I could have played more growing up. Anyway, so I played it, and I've fallen in love with it. I find it more fun than video games, right? Why? why? Why is it that I would rather crack open a book? God, maybe it is an age thing. Like I'm looking over, I've got like this amazing board game. One of my favorite board games. Like I've had to chill big time on like the amount of board games I was getting, especially for solo, because it's like video games or any kind of movie, right? You can play something for a little bit, but there's always a new hotness coming out. And so I relax on buying a lot of them. But there's one called Mage Knight, phenomenal game. I'm looking at it right now over here on the shelf, and it's like, oh, I'd love to play that. That's yeah. Let me play that. I look over here, Marvel Champions card game. Yeah, you know what? I got a deck idea right now. I'm still floating around that I'd love to play. I look over at my bookshelf, and I've got. I just call it Dungeons and Dragons. I don't really play too much Dungeons and Dragons. I don't nerd you guys out too much, but like Iron Sworn and Scarlet. Like I'm looking at some stuff, and I'm like, man, you know what? The cool thing about those RPGs is I don't know where the story's gonna go, so it's always fresh. It's always brand new when I go in. Literally nothing is like pre-generated or written to the point where I know exactly how the session's gonna end or the direction an oracle. You know, and I'm using some game speak here, but where it's gonna go, and that's enticing to me. Just talking about those things, I get way more excited about that than like let's say what's it called, Doctor Strange in the new movie. Even though I know when I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks good, this looks awesome. But I'm okay if I don't see it. What's happening? Darren, a good friend of mine. You guys know Darren from the chat, Big Daddy. That comes in here. He was just asking me the other day, like, so what new comics what are you reading lately? It's like, no, I don't even read comics. I'm changing. It's scary. Right? You books. That's what I'm saying. What is what is going on? Lord help us. Maybe one day we'll figure it out. Maybe I'll have a resurgence of energy and interest in video games. Oh boy. I remember like even if before COVID or whatever, before the dark times. You know when E3 was a thing for all my video game friends out there? And this is before I was working a 9 to 5 kind of job. When I would work retail and start my day at like noon, or the earliest might be, sometimes you'd have a morning shift, but usually it's like an afternoon shift. You're closing at 9. So you could wake up and watch some stuff. But anyway, when E3 was going on, I remember getting really excited about that. Get a coffee, get my artwork that I'm working on for that day, and just have that going and being like, oh my God, did you guys see this new game? Wow. And legitimately being interested. Love it. Do you read One Punch Manga? See, so here's the thing. Welcome, by the way. I don't know if I said hello. I know I have at least the first one, maybe 2 or 3. This was when, this would be going back maybe 6 years ago, we'll say, when I stopped really reading, like my interest in Americanized superhero comics. Like I love drawing superheroes. I love what my experience was growing up. I love Spider-Man. I love superheroes, right? But like I don't read them anymore. I just don't find them interesting. For whatever, like again, I don't even know why I'm interested in playing board games over like watching a cool movie. I don't know why. But my interest in movies has gone to shit. Same thing with comic books. And the reason I'm saying that is I started reading manga. Berserk blew my mind. It still does to this day. It's one of my favorite manga that I've ever read. And I don't even have all of them because I've actually lost interest. That's inevitably where the story's going to go. In just the comic book storytelling medium. I enjoy making them, but reading other people's comics, like I don't want to. I don't want to. And what was the other comic that or manga that really blew my mind? It was you guys. Maybe you guys can help me out because I know you guys actually watch or read comics. I don't. Okay, I can see the One Punch there. I got the whole Dragon Ball Z manga set. All whatever, like what is it, 20 volumes or whatever? What was it called? It was is that it up there? I can't read it. Damn, Pluto. That's it. That was a phenomenal manga, man. Holy shit. So here's the thing that I do love about manga. And the one thing I will say, like Pluto in particular, because it has an ending, right? It's a set amount of volumes. It's not continually coming out. Like I think One Punch Man is still going, so I don't even think I'll like. I don't. I doubt I'll go back to it. But Pluto was just great storytelling. The characters, and I know it's a style thing. Joe Mad's one of my favorite artists still, but I wouldn't. I'd be lying if I said like his emotions when he draws characters outside of somebody looking badass or pissed is subpar at best, right? Compared to other artists. That's not a knock at him. I still love his work. But Pluto was one of those manga that I was reading where I was like, wow, this guy's drawing different faces. People look different. It's like, I might not remember this guy's name, but I remember he has the big nose. It's like an animation thing. Anyway, there was a good pocket of time there where all I would read was like manga mostly. And maybe some European comics, but mostly manga. They were just better comics for me at the time. They were just more exciting. They meant more, I guess, for me at the time. But anyway, I have watched, I think, a few episodes of One Punch Man, the anime. That's good stuff, but I don't know. Like I said, I couldn't tell you why I'm just not interested in these things anymore. I don't know why. Back when I was young, before COVID, here we go. Yeah, I know. So stupid. I'm genuinely curious though. Does this just sound like an age thing? Is that what it is? Anybody else experiencing this kind of stuff? I mean, interests are allowed to change, absolutely. Hell, look at like what I was talking about when we started here about style, right? I was like, do I put our eyes that way or we go this way? I was concerned about like where my art's kind of going right now, what I think people will think about it, and some of the interests I have with it, but I have like no real reason. It's just interesting stuff. I don't know. I think this is still some residue, honestly. Like, do you guys remember back when I had a video that I came out with? Because I think it was actual burnout or something. And I don't think I'm burnt out at all. But the context of that video, that's why I brought that up. It reminds me of it, where, like, I don't even want to say it was depression, because I know people that have that, and I wasn't that far gone with anything, but it was like, I definitely remember going, and I told some of you guys probably won't remember this, but I remember going on walks, and I had to like touch stuff to make it like a connection. It was just, things just felt like, what's the point of this? Like it was the question of, not even like a question of, what's the point of this because I want a valid answer. It was just like, what's the point of X, Y, or Z, and my reasonings connecting them, they just always yielded the same answer with like, there is no point. Not to like, end it all, nothing like that, but it was just like, man, I was missing a connection. I was like, I don't know if it's because I'm on the computer all the time drawing and working, and, I'm not outside in the sun as much as I should be, which I'm very sure that was playing a massive part in it. Because you're working all the time, so you got no time to go outside. Or at least I wasn't prioritizing it. So there's all those things, and then it was like, what's it called? I definitely remember walking by the school. There was nobody there. And touching the chain link fence just to feel something different besides my fingers rubbing against each other, get a different texture. Then I remember picking up grass and just feeling that and the dirt on my hands and stuff. And I even smelled the grass just to basically trying to hit the different senses, trying to like jumpstart something, like get a feeling. I don't want to say it was emotionally numb to stuff, but it was just like there's a lot of that kind of questioning going on, and it was like I don't know. And then I know I think I don't know if my wife was pregnant at the time of that, but it was very close around there. And whoops, this guy looks way bugged out. But I know the weight of just making that mental association of like, okay, well, I know currently how I do things with my time can't stay because I'm gonna have a kid on the way, and so we're gonna have to make some changes and all that, like normal stuff. But it was just like a combination of all that change in time and what you're interested in, how much something requires of you, and like personally, I know I'm always going to choose my son over work when I can. Like right now, I'm choosing to do this as opposed to going to his preschool kind of thing, for family reasons. But it's like there's like a definite like I feel like there's like this combination of that stuff. So I don't know if you guys have gone through this kind of stuff. I'm not saying feeling grass, but it's like just a different person's coming out of all this stuff, and I don't even know where I'm going with all that. All right, let me just shrink this chick's nose for a second. That's better. Age and responsibilities? Oh no, no. Dennis, I think it's fatigue from adult life combined with being harder to be surprised or wowed. Maybe, yeah. Lars, it's an age thing, but I don't think it sounds old. But as a teacher, I'm constantly being reminded of that I'm getting older, even though I don't feel old at all. Okay, what are some of the reminders you're getting? I remember you talked with Sketchcraft about it, right? You're feeling oh, was I talking to him? Okay, well at least one remember. That's great. So it's not just I didn't just make all of that up. To your point, Dennis. Okay, so I've read a whole bunch of how to write books. When way back when I was debating JESOP King or just trying to get better at making comics. I think it's worthwhile to try to figure out some storytelling tips and tricks, and even though it's not necessarily art, but like you can learn a lot from a lot of different sources, right? That you can always bring back to your craft or whatever it is you do. But especially when I was working on JESOP, I was trying to figure out basically bake it into my subconscious certain writing things to do to hopefully make a better story for people to enjoy, right? But that deep dive into all that stuff, and I'm still very far from it. I'm not even remotely close suggesting like a master status at all. But now, whenever I watch a movie or even a TV show, I cannot help but, and sometimes I say it out loud, and I don't like to do that because it ruins it for my wife and all that stuff like that. Like, just shut up, just let me enjoy this story. But like, I can't watch like buddy cop movies anymore. I can't watch like a lot of comedies. They're not even funny. They're just like I've seen this humor before, and the reason I bring that up is maybe that is the age thing. Like I've already experienced these things, and things aren't as different anymore. Maybe younger people or people that haven't experienced certain things as much. So it makes me really worried about like let's tack on another 40 years. Like, oh, Jesus, what's 80 look like if I'm already this way now? Like. I'm basically telling myself I can't be surprised or wowed anymore, which I know isn't true. But yeah, I don't like it. I'll tell you that. Because I know when I see my son, right, like he hasn't even experienced some of the great stuff that's about to come. He's just in pure toddler mode, and it's beautiful, seeing him just have fun. I do like one of the best parts of having a kid, at least for me, has just been like being able to experience childhood again a little bit. Like it's not totally childhood. I have to still be responsible for him. I can't just like I don't like just putting the TV on and him just watching that, right? But if it's Saturday, maybe we do get that cereal and we watch Paw Patrol, and then once that his cereal's done, we can actually go play Paw Patrol with the action figures and stuff, right? Like that kind of stuff. Like that's been really refreshing. It's almost like I'm not a religious guy, but it feels like the same analogy for like filling the soul, with the good stuff. because there's no I don't know, just like a battery recharger, I guess. It's good. I mean, they think my taste in music, movies, the way I do stuff are old and stuff like Instagram is old now. Everything is fast and loud and on TikTok now. You know what? Yeah, dude, everything is loud. Remember with my niece, it was like that. She used to watch, maybe she still does. I'm not too sure. I don't think so. But it was like Annoying Orange for a little while. And a lot of clips she'll show. And it could be just like the humor thing again, right? Like everybody's humor, everybody likes certain things a little different. Um, like it's not even, to me, yeah, again, it's not even funny. It's just somebody screaming. And that's the funny thing. It's just like, yeah, you're right. To your point, it's that loud stuff. And it's awful to say because, like, that's like the joke when you hear all these old people, right? What's with this rock music? It's too loud. I think you get to enjoy deeper stuff like books and all that. Yeah, oh, God. And when you're a kid, you get to enjoy stuff through him. Yeah, no, definitely through him. 100%. I don't know what I would do if he wasn't here. Like what I would actually be interested in. I would say the most recent movie that I've watched was actually the Paw Patrol movie, and I enjoyed it. But I enjoyed it for reasons I didn't think I'd enjoy it, man. Does anybody like who else here has kids and maybe they're like relating, excuse me, to the same thing? I don't know, but it was like Mayor Humdinger in the Paw Patrol is amazing, and Alexander always wants. Well, it's actually kind of going away now, which is sad, but. We would always play, and I had to pretend to be Mayor Humdinger, so I got to do the voices and stuff, right? And that's the good stuff. But watching the movie, it was like I liked it. Like I remember when my niece was young, and like my brother, they would go see movies, or even a coworker of mine. He would always say like, "Oh, wait till you get to see this movie. It's great." And it's like some Disney movie that came out that a lot of people like. We'll say it's Frozen. It's not that, but like I have zero interest in that. I don't care if the animation's good. uh, just no interest at all. That Arcane show that came out, I have zero. I tried watching it, I was bored. So clearly there's magic missing in my life. But when I watched the Paw Patrol movie, like it looked good, and I've seen episodes, and I was like, okay, like I understand the context, but it was my son's experience with it and how we were able to go back and forth while that was happening. That was like truly something where I was like, all right, man, like kids movies I am excited to see them because it's my enjoyment's coming from how he's reacting to this stuff and I don't know how else to explain it other than that. Mixer D, thank you so much. I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that at all, but thumbs up to you as well, sir. Thank you for popping in. Crit Now Later, what's up? Boom, 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 boom. Going to be streaming regular. I'm not. I'm not going to promise anything. Probably not. It's my intention to one day get back to this stuff, but it's art isn't the same for me as it used to be. Whatever that means. My vocal diarrhea right now is trying to figure it out with everybody. Like I'm not working on the same kind of art projects anymore. Like I've sort of made the mental switch. So it's hard to how do I describe this? And I'm not trying to sound ignorant or like an ass about any of this stuff. That's never my goal to do anything like that. Just being open and real, I guess, with certain language. But while I worked at my day job, comics was always in the back of my mind as something to do because I've enjoyed it for so long. But it takes so much time and effort and work, right? I'm not going to beat a dead horse. We all know that. But as time has gone on, and then even when COVID hit, I lost my job there because, my boss was trying to keep the company afloat. Art is usually always the first one that's going to get hit. And, there's no ill will. I don't hold any grudges or anything like that. But it was a smack in the face of something that I think a lot of people, myself included, probably don't put enough mental weight into, which was like the very real possibility that you could just be unemployed. Just like that, right? Probably because it doesn't happen too often. So it's sort of like it's there, but we don't put any weight into it. But what it did for me and a lot of other people was make us really mentally aware of like, so what the hell are you doing every day? And things are sort of settling back into that mindset, which I know isn't good because this could always happen again, and it most likely will happen again. Maybe not COVID, but like just employment in general, right? So it was like a lot of cats were doing. It was like, all right, well, let's all go to YouTube and start making content and scurrying around. We got mouths to feet, yada yada, right? So I remember doing all of that, and I started doing my own thing, and you guys could see all this stuff. And I was streaming like every day, right? I was working on making, because my Etsy sales are really great. Probably, and I highly recommend everybody at least try Etsy. Chibi prints, apparently, that's they make you money. I've been very successful with that, and I'm grateful for that. And anyway, so I was there, and it was like, okay, so here we go. We kind of have this thing going on, and then I was able to return back to work, and then it just sort of made me think. All right, well then, what is art for me going forward from here, right? Like, is it still pursuing comics because that means more change coming up, and you kind of have to act differently. Like, I really need to hound editors, start grinding out more pages, and you guys all know the struggle of trying to get into comics. If you wanted to work at a company, right? And my passion and joy for that was just destroyed. Like I can't live the lie anymore of me trying to be that guy. So I don't want to, I want to be happy. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, so I've moved on from that. And then what I tried to do anyways, put more of that effort that I was doing on the side back into what I currently have, which is, at the video game studio, right? So it's trying to broaden my understanding of games in general. I'm the only artist that's on staff. We have a tech artist as well. He's a developer. He's really great. But I'm usually the one just doing all of the design work up front. But there's always so much to learn, right? And if comics isn't the direction, well, I should really be approaching my art and like what I'm interested in, doing things differently. So that's why I've started to make the shift more into, I guess even like what I'm drawing right now, this is more for fun because I enjoy it. But coloring and asset creation, and those are the kinds of things where it's like, maybe I could stream it. I just don't know if my audience is even interested in that stuff because it's not comics, and it's a shame, I guess. I don't even know if it's a shame, if that's even the right thing to say about it, but yeah, it's just different, just different stuff now. And I already had the talk with myself a while ago. It's like it was a big change for me personally to go, all right, like I'm not going to pursue comics as an actual career. And the staggering part for me was just being okay with that because of like how many years and friendships and relationships and times that I've just pushed off because I got to work on comics, like, because that's the goal, and it works for some people, and I hope it works for anybody that wants, if that's the thing you want to do. I hope you get it, but if you're in art, there's a very real possibility that like you're going to burn bridges with people because of the time commitment you need in order to create it, right? So it's like that was all mixed in with the weight of, okay, so what was the point of all of that stuff if I'm just walking away from it? And who knows what the future holds and stuff. But anyway, that was just like a conversation I had to have for myself and all that good stuff. Gladman, what's the thing? Maybe it's because things are a bit too samey. There's nothing really original anymore. Yeah, and I mean, I feel like that's true. At the same time, I don't watch or consume content like I used to, so I might not even be aware that what I actually want exists out there. The thing that's just going to make me excited about things again. But like, I don't know. But you could be very right. Dennis, just wait until you start tearing up and sobbing when you watch emotional stuff in movies. I've kind of gotten there already. When people, it hits different now. When my wife likes to watch those true crime stories, so that'll be kind of on in the background. Maybe I'll play a card game or something while that's going on. Anytime they talk about something with kids, don't get me wrong. Whenever I don't know about you guys, I'm hoping this, but like when you hear something bad happens to kids, it's like I get real upset. Now that I've had one, you start implanting like, what if that was my kid? And it's like, it just takes it to another level where it's like, death to anybody that does awful, harmful things to kids. That kind of stuff, It's weird. But like, I do check my phone a lot, see pictures when he was little. It's so weird, man. So weird. But love him a whole bunch. How many parents we got in here, actually? We have a lot of parents in here, people that want kids, people that hate them. So I'm gonna put a little bit of rendering here and there. I don't like to go too nuts with this stuff, but definitely help. So we get a nice line down there. All right, this guy needs a shoulder. Yeah, bicep. Shoulder over here. I love this implied anatomy, man. It's so fun to do. It feels so wrong, like all the Loomis and Bridgman and all the anatomy study, you're looking at people, and then it's like, all right, so I know, right? Like the tricep connects up here, and it comes down here around the elbow, right? I always get this one mixed up though. I believe it goes higher. Does it go higher on the inside or the outside? Let me squeeze mine. It goes on the outside. Okay, so let me refix that. I believe it goes like this. It goes up here like that, comes down, and this guy comes down here, right? And you got like this lip that kind of goes in there, right? Like I know that. What I'm about to do though is like, okay, so how does this feel? Well, to me, this feels like this forearm's kind of coming up like that. And then I'm also going to bring up a little line like that to insinuate the tricep. But I really want that energy going back up here. Looks good to me. What is that? And the fun part about this is like every time you attempt to throw the anatomy anywhere, it just changes. So let's change it up here, right? Like I like the energy of her arm. It's like bending up. So like there you go. Boom. Get that in there. Let's get a nice little straight line that way. Yeah. A little overkill. We'll just erase this though. You know, we can like kind of like jazz up the line a little bit. But whoops, I want her to have, you know, like a forearm muscle. This guy. Boom. There's your shoulder. Going into your whatever muscle, into your latimus dorsi, morsi, maximum, you know, your majors right there. We're going to have to have that in there. I don't know. It's just fun to do. And then now I'm looking at that arm again. I think maybe I'm going to change it. You know, maybe the muscles twitched while she looked over it. Let's go this way. Into the shoulder. Yeah. Something simple like that. Now the arm's coming down. That's too much like that. Bring that shoulder. You see what I'm saying? Like it's just, I don't know. I know it's not. I know it's not right. It doesn't feel right. It just feels really fun to do. What do we got here, Dennis? Yep, can't watch horror movies when the kids are. See. It's so weird. Lars, you're not a father, but sometimes it feels like you are. Well, you're dealing with kids all the time, so in a way, you are. No worries. Oops, not open. We already saved it. Okay, so let's export this as a TIFF. High res, please. Okay, savey. Cool. All right, guys, I'm actually going to wrap this up. I've got to eat something. Then I'm going to get back to doing this. Oh, that just blew my ears out. I don't know if I'll be streaming later. Possibly. I will put the possibility of streaming out there. Anybody that's interested. When later, though, it'll look like, what's that? You're evolving after realism comes expressionism. I know. I actually saw I tweeted it, and I don't even use Twitter that often. I tweeted it, and it was, you gotta go right, you gotta just give in to the age thing, right? I twittered it, and it was, what was his quote? It was something about, actually, let me pull it up. Since I don't use Twitter that often, it shouldn't be that far down. I just loved it because it actually, it validates my feeling of what I'm doing. Even though I just this constant, this feeling in the back of my head that I have to let people know why this is okay to do, which, you know, I'm already losing that battle and I'm approaching it wrong when I'm there. Okay, what was it? Okay, wasn't that? There we go. So this was a Picasso quote. I think I saw in some small YouTube video. It was it took me 4 years to paint like Raphael, but a lifetime to paint like a child. And I think that it just hit me really good. I was like, yeah, you know, like I was just trying to explain while I was throwing in those, I call them Kirbyisms on the anatomy. It was like, you know, I've read anatomy books. I know how this anatomy works and why it works, but visually, it just doesn't. It just doesn't feel. Visually, it doesn't feel as cool to look real sometimes. And then putting it down just felt more like, and I'm not going to have the argument of what's right or wrong, but like I'm getting more and more to that side of like, what is the point of art? And there's no right answer, right? Right now, it feels more like it's, how does it feel? Like, does it let me escape and just have some fun for a little while? Then yeah, that's the way to go about it. But anyway, I don't want to bore you guys to tears. Thank you guys so much for coming in today. Again, so what did I was going to say there? If I'm streaming later today, just let me math this out a little bit here, okay? So it's 10:30 a.m. now. I've got somewhere to be at 1. I don't know how long that'll go. Let's say 2, 3. So 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Possibly, if I do stream, and I don't want, if you're around in about 5 hours, I might stream again. If not, there's a very possible reality that I will stream tomorrow morning. Yeah, if that works out. But thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the donation today, Mixer D. I definitely didn't need to do that, but thank you either way. And everybody else for your conversation. Definitely helps get through some of these lull times when you're drawing by yourself. And anyway, thank you guys. Take care. Yeah, let's end it like we normally do, right? Keep reading. Keep reading comics. No, it's keep making comics. Keep reading comics. Is that it? It feels so wrong to say because I haven't said it in so long. Keep making comics. Keep reading comics. Comics. All right. Later, guys. Bye-bye.